Yes, but tell me, which character did you like the best in the Da Vinci Code?
I particularly like the central character named Robert Langdon. He's a professor of religious iconology and symbology at Harvard University. Not much detail has been provided about the character in this novel. He's referred to as suffering from claustrophobia.
Yeah, of course. I hope you know that this character appears in this book for the second time. Langdon is the main character in Dan Brown's previous publication, Angels and Demons.
I never knew that. That certainly is interesting.
Yes, it is. But what do you think about the plot of the novel?
The plot of the novel is really gripping. It begins with the murder of Jacques Saunier, the curator of the Louvre Museum in Paris. Saunier was the Grand Master of the Priory of Sion and knew the mystic location of the keystone. The keystone actually leads to the Holy Grail and the other documents that could scandalize the Roman Catholic Church.
How do you feel about the hidden messages in the works of Leonardo da Vinci, their interpretation by the author through the important characters?
Oh, I was mystified by it all. The multiple subplots that are actually interwoven throw light on the life of each character. All important characters are directed to the same place in the climax.
I agree. The author deserves praise for the chain of brain teasers that lead to the solution of the mystery, like anagrams. Ultimately, the characters are directed to the mysterious location of the Holy Grail and to the Knights Templar.
For the past few decades, mushrooms have gained much popularity as a source of making different items of food. A lot of research is going on in developing different ways to make food products from mushrooms. Many of us may not have the idea about the medicinal value of mushrooms. As a matter of fact, mushrooms are a rich source of minerals, vitamin D, thiamine, riboflavin and niacin. Besides these, mushrooms are also rich in dietary fibre and almost all amino acids. What is more important to notice about mushrooms is the fact that despite being rich in all these essential nutrients, they're low in fat and calories. There are about 100,000 species of mushrooms available in the world. Surprisingly, only 700 out of these are used as food. About 200 species of mushrooms are believed to possess medicinal value. Others, or more, may also be added to this list in the future. Extensive research that scientists have been carrying out on mushrooms has borne fruit. A mushroom is a kind of adaptogene. Like many botanical species found in the world, adaptogenes are also called biological response modifiers. These help the body in order to adapt to various types of stress that may be environmental or psychological. Adaptogens function in such a manner that they benefit almost all crucial systems of the human body. For example, the nervous system, endocrine and adrenal. These also boost the capacity of the immune system in order that it works efficiently.
Global warming is the increase in the average temperature of the Earth's near-surface air and oceans in the recent decades and its projected continuation. The global average air temperature near the Earth's surface rose from 0.75 degrees Celsius to 1.8 degrees Celsius within a 100-year span that ended in 2005. The panel looking into the climatic changes attributes this change to the greenhouse gases emitted by the greenhouse effect. Natural phenomena, such as solar variation, combined with volcanoes, probably had a small warming effect from pre-industrial times. The greenhouse effect is the process by which absorption and emission of infrared radiations by atmospheric gases warm a planet's lower surface. On Earth, the major greenhouse gases are water vapors, which cause 36 to 70% of greenhouse effect, carbon dioxide, which causes 9 to 26%, methane, which causes 4 to 9%, and ozone, which causes 3 to 7% of the effect. Methane is believed to have greater greenhouse effect than carbon dioxide, but its concentration is too low. Fossil fuel burning has produced about 3/4 of the increase in carbon dioxide from human activity over the past 20 years. Deforestation is also a major cause. The fumes of burning fossil fuels have risen. These fossil fuels include coal, tars, and methane catharses.
Beta blockers have some side effects too. They include bradycardia, reduced exercise capacity, heart failure, hypertension, and atrioventricular nodal block. All of these result from excessive blockade of normal sympathetic influences on the heart. Care should be taken where beta blockers are given in conjunction with cardiac selective calcium channel blockers because of their addictive effects in producing electrical and mechanical depression. Except for those drugs specifically approved for heart failure patients. They are also contraindicated in patients with sinus bradycardia and partial AV block. Non-selective beta blockers are contraindicated in patients with asthma or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, as bronchoconstriction may occur when beta blockers are administered to asthmatic patients. Beta blockers should be used cautiously in diabetics, as hypoglycemia may occur. Beta-2 receptors normally stimulate hepatic glycogen breakdown and pancreatic release of glucogen, which work together to increase plasma glucose. Therefore, blocking beta-2 receptors lowers plasma glucose. B1 blockers have fewer metabolic side effects in diabetic patients. However, tachycardia, which serves as a warning sign for insulin-reduced hypoglycemia, may be masked. Hence, beta blockers should be used cautiously in diabetics.
That a social group of whales is called a pod. Baleen whales travel in small pods. The toothed whales travel in large pods. They hunt their prey in groups, migrate together, and share the burden of caring for their young ones. These whales give birth to live young ones. They do not lay eggs. They nourish them with milk. All whales breed seasonally, usually in warm tropical waters, and females have one calf every 1 to 3 years. The gestation time is between 9 to 18 months. Whale calves can swim at or soon after birth. Mother whales care for their young ones for an extended period of time, usually at least a year, feeding them with milk and protecting them. Another important feature is the whale songs which can be heard for miles underwater. The humpback song can last for 30 minutes. Baleen whales sing low-frequency songs, but toothed whales emit whistles. These songs help them to attract their mates, to keep track of offspring, and for toothed whales to locate their prey. The word tsunami comes from a Japanese word that means harbour wave. Tsunamis are not tidal waves caused by gravitational force of moon. A tsunami starts when a huge volume of water is quickly shifted, generally due to an underwater earthquake. It is not necessary that the first wave is the highest. The following waves can be higher, so whenever you see a high wave, run to high ground. The waves spread across the sea in all directions. They travel great distances from the source at tremendous speed. A tsunami can travel at 970 kilometers an hour in the open ocean, as fast as a jet flies. It takes only a few hours for a tsunami to travel across an entire ocean. In comparison, a regular wave travels at speed not higher than 90 kilometers per hour. Jules Verne was born on February 8, 1828 in Nantes. His father, Pierre Verne, was a successful lawyer. As a child, Jules developed a great interest in travel and exploration, a passion he showed as a writer of adventure stories and science fiction. Jules had a brother, Paul, whom he loved very much. Both of them were sent to a boarding school to get their education. After completing his studies in the boarding school, Jules was sent to Paris in 1848 to study law. Although he did not complete his education in law, he joined his father's law firm at the age of 18. However, most of the famous and talented people do not like to be constrained in any form, physical or mental. Jules was destined to be a drama writer, and no one could stop him from being one. He made an acquaintance with Alexandre de Sionis, and with the latter's help, Verne produced his first one-act play, Broken Strauss, in 1850. He gave up law to write as a freelance writer. He also wrote stories for the journal Musée. Talking specifically of groundwater, we all know that most of it must have fallen as rain many years or decades ago. It is but obvious that soil and rock layers must have filtered it to a great extent even before it is pumped into treatment. This groundwater appears as springs or may easily be extracted through boreholes or wells. Though groundwater is generally of a high bacteriological quality, it may contain a good amount of dissolved solids, especially carbonates and sulfates of calcium and magnesium. In places where upland are forested or are peaty, a lot of humic acids are present. These humic acids can colour the water brown.
Now, what is so great or unique about the Leaning Tower of Pisa that makes it a wonder of the world? Actually, the tower stands at a tilted angle that actually is amazing, considering the weight and height of the entire thing. Initially, it was hypothesized that the leaning structure was a part of the original architectural plan. However, gradually it was discovered that it was not so. There were certain other reasons because of which the tower is leaning at a weird angle. The tower was meant to be vertical. However, it gradually began to lean at this particular angle during the time it was being constructed. The tower has been a special tourist attraction ever since it was completed. In fact, right from 1173, when the construction of the tower started, it has been quite famous among tourists. The tower is well known both because of its inclination and also its beauty. Lots of efforts were made to halt the incipient inclination through the use of special construction devices. At times, columns and other damaged parts were substituted with new ones to ensure that the tower had a long life. Even today, changes are being made within the subsoil so that the inclination can be significantly reduced. Phobias can be treated partly through medicines and partly through psychotherapy. Psychotherapy may include administering relaxation exercises. Phobia can also be dealt with facing the phobic object head-on. Depending on the age of the person and also the intensity of the phobia, the treatment can go on for weeks, months, and at times even years. What is important is to understand that phobias can be treated, and a person can lead a panic-free life with adequate treatment. If parents find that their child is phobic to something, they need to be careful in dealing with the kid. It is essential that the parent talk to his child about his fears. The child's problems should not be trivialized. The parent should let the child feel that he is not alone and that he is there to help him out. It is also important that the parent does not reinforce the phobia. If the child is phobic to, say, dogs, the parent should not go out of the way to avoid the dog. Instead, he should make the child move closer to the dog step by step each day. Another good technique is to advise the child to take deep breaths and make the child say, "I can do it." This would help in the reduction of fear.
Soaps and detergents are widely used to remove dirt and grease from the body and home respectively. Microorganisms are trapped in the soapy lather and are washed away when we rinse our clothes and body. But be careful about using detergents on your body, since they can cause allergies and rashes on
The flower show is a great place to learn from experts. So many presentations to study, ranging from flower arrangements to organic gardening.
That's true. Visitors can also take up lectures from experts on different techniques of floriculture.
Can we pick gardening tools, etc. from the show?
Shopping at a show is a great way to end the day. The Flower Show Marketplace will offer quality tools, plants, artwork, bonsai, and cut flowers.
Won't it be too crowded because people from all over the world will visit it?
It will be.
The choice of stroke depends on how near the shuttlecock is to the net, and whether it is above net height. Players have much better attacking options if they can reach the shuttlecock well above net height, especially if it is also close to the net. In the forecourt, a high shuttlecock will be met with a net kill, hitting it steeply downwards and attempting to win the rally immediately. In the mid-court, a high shuttlecock will be usually met with a powerful smash, also hitting downwards and hoping for an outright winner or a weak reply. Athletic jump smashes, where players jump upwards for a steeper smash angle, are a common and spectacular element of elite men's doubles play. In the rear court, players strive to hit the shuttlecock while it is still above them, rather than allowing it to drop lower. This overhead hitting allows them to play smashes, clears and drop shots. If the shuttlecock has dropped low, then a smash is impossible and a full-length high clear is difficult.
In fact, one of the major issues concerning us is the issue of climate change. Climate change is any long-term significant change in the average weather that a given region experiences. Average weather may include average temperature, precipitation, and wind patterns. It involves changes in the variability or average state of the atmosphere and wind patterns over durations ranging from decades to millions of years. These changes can be caused by dynamic process on Earth, external forces including variations in sunlight intensity, and more recently by human activities.
It looks as though we shall have to do the work ourselves. In some towns, playgrounds are dirt fields and public parks are few. In the field of humanities, the collective will prevails over the individual. It looks as though we shall have to do the work ourselves. In some towns, playgrounds are dirt fields and public parks are few. In the field of humanities, the collective will prevails over the individual.